Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Another episode of Trash Talk. I'm TJ O'Connor, and this week I'm being joined by Damien's uncle Reggie. Tonight on the show we have Patrick Skildum, who's getting ready to compete this weekend, June 20th, for Valhalla Combat Sports Kickboxing. First, the sponsors of the show, got tongue-tied there, Valhalla Combat Sports Incorporated, Ink Shrinks Tattoo, Origin Wellness CBD, the Striking Institute, Spartan Martial Arts, James Clark Sports Psychology and Hypnosis Therapy, The Fighters, and my mom. Patrick, thanks for taking the time to talk with us here on Fight Week. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing really well. Feeling good. Looking forward to Saturday.
Yeah. So am I. Actually, I've seen you compete or I've heard that you competed on James Clark's show multiple times before. But is this your first kickboxing match for him?
Yep. This will be my first kickboxing match with at Valhalla.
What inspiration coming back behind and doing a kickboxing match? Because I believe you and your opponent are two of the older fellows on the card. What do you think you could show these young cats that are also competing?
When you're younger, man, it's all fire, right? I mean, it's all fire. Everybody's landing big shots, they're throwing, but the older you get, the longer you train. There's some technical aspects. There's some, just dealing with being 45, man. That's a whole nother game learning how to fight when you're 45 years old. So you can't rely on every part of your body being 100%. It's not going to be 100%. It ain't ever going to be 100%. So you got to learn to adapt with some of those things. I don't know. I'm not speaking to me. I mean, I'm 100%. But, you got an ankle or you got a knee, something's a little wonky. You got to work around that. So, you know what? You start getting your own style a little bit. You start working and throwing combos that really work with, the way your body moves. And so sometimes, when you're 25, shit works 100%. Those little tricks and those little things like that, it's not something that comes into the game. And then just determination. I mean, we're a couple of older guys on the card. We're a couple of older guys in the state that fight MMA, grapple. It's just because, man, how do you give it up? I don't know.
I mean, and luckily, you're in a position where you don't have to. You're still actively competing, still actively going out there. For the fans of the show that might not be as familiar, you've been fighting for a very long time. I think the first time I seen you fight personally was maybe 2015. Give us a background on your intro into fighting. How many fights have you had? Stuff like that. Just a quick background.
Okay. Well, man, I got to go back pretty far. So I started martial arts when I was like 6 years old, 6, 7. My aunt had a Taekwondo school, so I did that for 10, 12 years, junior nationals and that kind of stuff. Wrestled throughout high school, boxed in the Marine Corps, and then got out and just kind of started my family. So I just had, a lot of time that was occupied. And as my older kids started to move out of the house, I had some time to get back into it, started training. And then, honestly, it was just, I was like, shit. This bucket list, man. I got to get out there. Let me just do one fight. And I did my first fight. My first fight was a loss. And then it really hit. Then it just took over, and I just fell in love with it. Let's see, I've had 10 fights, 10 MMA fights. Did a kickboxing exhibition down at Savage. Like I said, I Taekwondo and boxing tournaments when I was younger. So I got back and jumped in and was like, shit, let's go. Let's see how long we can make this run.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just it's such a great story showing that obviously age is nothing but a number. You can take that time off, still have the family, and then get in there and throw some hands with these young guys. And you've mentioned your experience, and Uncle Reggie brought it up earlier. Your opponent also, I believe he's also 45, also has the same experience as far as fighting all these younger guys. But you guys, is this the first time that you and Aaron have been matched up? And what do you know about your opponent coming into this fight?
Well, Aaron and I grappled actually 2 shows ago. So we've grappled, and I want to say I think we did once before a while ago, but I could be wrong. But this will be the first time that we're doing any striking back and forth. And you know what I know from grappling, he's strong. You know, he's got a lot of strength and he's got some reach. You know, so he's got some reach on me. I do have a fairly long reach, but it's it's in my chest more than my arms. So, you know, there'll be some things I got to deal with there. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it because like I said, we've been at a lot of different MMA shows together. Fought on a couple cards, but never had the opportunity. I was a little smaller. I used to be down at 55, so this is yeah, it's a bit of difference now.
Well, how are you feeling about the age factor? The fact that you guys are so close in age, and is this the first time that you've actually fought somebody that close in age to you?
It's a cool question. Let's see. I think the next closest was within a year. Was my last MMA fight. So he was, but other than that, the next one would have been 9 years difference. So this will be pretty cool. I'm really excited to do it because look, we're both in great shape. I mean, Aaron's, I'm sure he's been working hard. So for our age, it'll be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I agree. And when you look at this card, you know there's great fights going up and down the card. Which I mean, obviously, Jim has shown his ability for matchmaking. I think last time 6 out of the 7 fights went to a decision, which show how evenly matched these are. But with all due respect to a lot of these other guys, a lot of them are up and coming fighters. For a local fan to look at this card and see Aaron Shaw versus Patrick Skildum, those are the names that they might recognize. And, you know, I would say realistically is going to be the sleeper for the fight of the night if it's not expected to be fight of the night. Because I know you two both, I know both of you personally. I know both of your fighting styles, and I expect a great, gritty type of fight. What type of fight do you expect on Saturday? And what do you have to do to get your hand raised? Or what do you have to bring with you to get your hand raised? Obviously, you have to win to get your hand raised.
Yep, that's the ticket. You know what? I gotta just bring a little bit of technical aspect to it. I think it will be a gritty fight. I think that's where it's going to turn to. I think there'll be some inside fighting, some clinching. I think it'll be down and dirty. But I think what it'll end up edging out is if somebody's being technical, if somebody's scoring points, somebody's being real, you know, working their defense, working their movement, controlling the ring, you know, all aspects of being inside there. So, you know, you bring those to the table if you know them, bring them into the ring, put it to work, and walk out with your hand raised.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what you throw at it because, I mean, I know both you two bring it, and both you two are true veterans of the game.
Yep, that's the thing. I think, there's would definitely I think it'll ramp up. You know, I think there'll be a little bit of testing the water, seeing what's there, and then I think it'll get going for sure.
Yeah. And, you know, obviously coming off of everything, you know, with the state being shut down the last couple months, without giving too much specifics, what has camp been like for this fight? What type of activities have you been doing to get prepared for June 20?
You know, the one big thing I think that more than anything is I went back and I've been studying some old video and video that we took for my last MMA camp for the last fight. And going over some of the stuff that I recognize now needed work or little spots in the game, and then working those at home. And then, you know, your standard stuff. I mean, hey, watch Rocky IV, you know, wait until the scene where he's out in Russia and get a little motivated and decide that, you know, you just got to do what you got to do with or without, you know, the facilities that you're used to.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know Damien and I have actually talked about that specific Rocky montage. How, you know, 30 years later, it'll still get you pumped up at any time.
Right?
Yeah. My shorts get a little bit shorter when I'm watching that scene, and you get pumped up. So I'm really expecting a really fun fight here. Patrick, before we wrap it up, I always like to give an open platform just to thank any teammates, sponsors, anybody outside of the gym that's been there for you leading up to this fight, as well as the others. The platform is yours, sir.
You know, the first and foremost is my family, man. I mean, my wife and kids have made the sacrifices and helped with training. My older boys were over. We were actually grappling the other day just for some cardio workout. And, you know, they've been in my corner since day one, and nobody's ever really slipped off at all. So they're number one. And honestly, right now, man, with everything that's going on, I don't even want to take the platform away from just Black Lives Matter, man. And we gotta do the best we can to make a difference there. And so, you know, I don't know what. Yeah, come out for anybody, for the people watching. Like, come out, see the fight, buy a ticket. You know, help support this great organization, man. Valhalla is doing great. Trash Talk, you guys are killing it. All right, just keep up the good work, and that's all I got.
I really do appreciate it, and I'll be sure to let Damien know. Obviously, this is his baby, and I know Uncle Reggie isn't going to pass the message, so I'll be sure to let Damien know the support. And, you know, we thank you. We're nothing without the fighters. And, again, June 20th, Valhalla Combat Sports, Patrick Skildum versus Aaron Shaw. My pick for fight of the night. Fans, you know this deal by now. Like this video. Subscribe to Trash Talk with Damien and TJ. Most importantly, don't be a hoe.